There.
It's interesting for me that the writing that you do on the side, like the date, the day, all of those things, because I so often lose track of where I am in my week. And on top of that, I forget about Thursday and Tuesday. So sometimes I'm so confused about where I am. So it's kind of nice to see it in my book and be like, okay, this is where we're at.
Yeah. Get this all straight. All right. Yeah. Now I know. Welcome, Ethan. Nice to see you this morning.
Morning. Namaste. Yeah, I can start the journey right now. Thank you, Alexa. Thank you, Bess.
Thank you for being here. Both of you. Welcome. Day 4. Yay, you guys did 3 days already. Number 4. You guys are rocking it. We were just talking with Alicia about how she's been doing the different aspects, but just mentally. So really any way that you can incorporate some of these practices into your daily life is wonderful. And that's all the intention is for it. As I said yesterday, it's not meant to overwhelm you. It's just meant to give you more tools to work with your own self-awareness and reflect. So today we are talking about emotional holistic health. So this is a big one, right? So we're going to begin with the mantra for today. It is one that brings up a ton of emotion for me. It's the Lalita prayer. Lalita is the mother goddess, divine mother. And I was introduced to this mantra of Lalita again by my mentor, Liz Golder. And so the mantra is incanting the goddess, the divine mother, and all the forms of her feminine power, who is derived from Shakti, the primordial goddess. So Lalita is the goddess of bliss. And it's a characteristic of Parvati, who is the wife of Shiva, the creator or the destroyer of the universe. So Lalita means she who plays, and supposedly is the only mantra that you need to chant in order to gain total salvation. So since one of the Divine Mother's roles is to destroy demons, I feel that demons often, most frequently take place within our mental, our emotional world, right? The feelings that we have, even though everything stems from a thought, all of our emotions, all of our physical sensations are first a thought before they, before we even recognize them as an emotion within ourselves. The emotions tend to have, and maybe it's just because I'm Cancer Moon, but our emotions tend to have a very strong effect on us, a very strong pull on our lives. That seems to resonate with you. Yeah. And so chanting Lalita can remove misery and add happiness to our existence. And since love is such a powerful virtue which fulfills and satisfies, we want to experience peace and love and joy right? And so a really good way to help us to directly experience the emotions of love and peace and joy is through meditation, or chanting mantra is also known as bhakti or devotion. So let's try it. The words are Ma Amba Lalita Devi. So Ma Amba is the one who nurtures and sustains everyone with unconditional love and acceptance, and allows us to give true love and acceptance to ourselves first. Lalita Devi is the name of the goddess. Devi is the word for goddess, and Lalita is divine mother, or the mother of the whole world. Namastasyai is I bow, and every time you repeat it, it's I bow again and again and again in reverence to the goddess who lives in all beings as energy. We repeat the Namastasyai 3 times, and then Namo is I bow to you in respect. So this can be bowing to the Divine Mother and also to ourselves once again. And Nama or Namaha is from my mind, my soul, my thoughts. It doesn't have physical body in there, but you can imagine bowing down with your physical body. The actual motion is with the physical. So let's begin. And again, you can, so how we'll do this one is I will chant the whole entire thing, and then you chant the whole entire thing. Okay, so you can just close your eyes and listen. Mamba Lalita Devi Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. So I'm going to continue singing, and you guys can chime in anytime you want. We'll do it 2 more rounds. Just flow with it. Ma Lalita Devi Namastasyai 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 Namo Namoha. Mama Lalita Devi Namastasyai 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 Namo Namaha. You can close your eyes and just begin to feel your emotions. Allow sensations to come up in your physical body. Allow your thoughts to think whatever they're thinking. Allow your breath to flow in your body, however it's flowing, through your nose, through your mouth, into your belly, into any other areas of your physical body. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your low belly, and just begin to tune in to the emotional space. What is present for you in this moment? Continue feeling and breathing, allowing and acknowledging what is here for you today. Each day we have the opportunity to reflect on not only our present state, but also our previous day, our previous night. Oftentimes we feel emotions that are not actually present within us. We may be remembering something that happened in the past or the immediate past. Sometimes we feel emotions that dreams can leave us with from the night. So may this process of journaling benefit you and help you to become more aware and acknowledge your feeling space, your emotional space. It is from this heart chakra, a very physical space, a very physical organ. But the chakra itself is a metaphysical location along your spinal cord, along your central nervous system. That is the center for your compassion, your love for yourself, and really all of your emotions. So let's give ourselves the opportunity, the honor of just acknowledging whatever is present with us right now. Let's try not to judge our emotions as good or bad. And let's slowly open our eyes and come back to connection. So the beauty of the emotional space is that they're always with you. So if anything came up for you just then, please feel free to just list them. Any emotions that you're feeling, and feel free to list out any as we go along. So as always, whether we're chanting or meditating or doing physical asana even, I invite you to always allow yourself to write, to jot down anything that comes up for you. If you followed my stories on social media, I post my daily practice quite often, and you'll notice that I have several journals with me at all times, and that is so that whatever comes to me, I can write down. So please feel free to do the same. So it can be very limiting to identify our emotions with words, because we live in a world where we aren't taught the terminology, the words for all of our emotions, right? When you're little, or even it's coming to me, that little picture, how are you feeling today? It's like happy, sad, maybe frustrated. What else is there? There's like 4, right? It's like, oh, I'm supposed to fit all of my billions of emotions into 4 little emojis, right? Even emojis these days are limiting, right? Oftentimes I can't find like the right emoji for what I'm feeling. So I wanted to give you guys an opportunity to know or to learn about more emotions, to have more words for the feelings so that you can better identify what it is that you're actually feeling, and give you the words. Words of affirmation is one of the 5 love languages. And so it can really help you, particularly if words are a love language that you resonate with greatly, to be able to give yourself love by simply identifying, this is how I'm feeling today. It's not happy, it's not sad, it's like really specific. So the more specific we can get about how we actually feel, what we're actually emoting, will then help us identify our needs. So, and it's also another great great inspiration for you to use Google. If you're finding it difficult to find the right emotion, the word for it, then type in the emotion that you kind of feel into Google and type in synonyms of. Bring them. I used to do this when I worked in marketing and I was looking for a, you know, a more flowery or poetic word. Just look for synonyms for it. So I used to.
It's very helpful too.
What's that? Can you repeat it?
The words you have here at the bottom, they're helpful too. A lot of them does quite explain the things that I tend to feel, but never really quite have the words for it.
Wonderful. That is the exact intention. Thank you for saying that. So I got these from the Relationship Foundation, is an organization in New York City that I just met with. They believe that they do that all of our interactions in the world are relationships, right? And they all stem from our family unit. These are the first relationships that we have. But unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, maybe I won't qualify it like that. This is our experience, and I believe that we choose our families and our connections. That based on the relationships that we have, that's how we interact with the world in all forms of relationships. And that in order for children to actually learn the different emotions that they have and the needs that they have that are met or unmet, that all they need is a consistent adult who acknowledges their emotions. And so they do wonderful work in schools, teaching in educators how to interact with children and teaching them these very words, right? Is something wrong? Is something off? What is the emotion that you're feeling? And therefore, what need do you have that's not being met? So we'll get to those in a moment on the next slide. And for now, I wanted to just focus on how some of the emotions that you can use, that you feel when your needs are met, right? And these are these uplifting, powerful, positive emotions that we feel when our needs are met. Humans have needs. And I also have a list of the needs that we have. So these are very closely linked. So when all of your needs are actually being met, you feel love. So in the bracket of love, some other words can be affection. You feel affection being given to you, or you feel affectionate. You feel caring, or you feel cared for. You feel compassionate, or you feel like you are being shown compassion. And fondness. Fondness is like you like something. You can feel centered, comfortable, relaxed, hopeful, confident, optimistic, renewed, and then this kind of plays into that whole idea of the upward spiral as opposed to the downward spiral. So what's coming to me now is rejuvenated, reinvigorated, engaged, absorbed, curious, dazzled, engrossed, fascinated, interested, intrigued, excited, stimulated, refreshed. You can feel like you've gotten enough sleep, right? This goes back to the physical and the mental aspects of holistic health. You can feel like you've restored yourself. And that's actually what this group is intended to do, restore and love yourself, right? You can feel revived, like you have a new source of energy. Grateful. Grateful is not just the only word that describes gratitude. You can feel like you appreciate someone. You can appreciate yourself. You can feel content, like I need for nothing. I'm just completely in balance. I feel touched, like I feel moved. Someone has expressed something to me, or I've done something for myself that has affected me in a positive way. Maybe you feel excited. You could be amazed or feel very like you have a new source of energy, enthusiastic, invigorated, jazzed, passionate, surprised, happy, delighted, glad, joyful, overjoyed, pleased, exhilarated. These are some of my favorite. Blissful, ecstatic, elated, euphoric, thrilled, peaceful, calm, comfortable, fulfilled, relaxed, relieved, satisfied, inspired, amazed, encouraged, enthusiastic, motivated, moved. So whatever ones of these resonated, or even if your own came to you, write them down. Even if they don't necessarily resonate with how you're feeling today, but if you can remember a time when you felt this way, and that's like, oh yeah, that's that word I was looking for, right? I just wanted to mention also, there's another activity within the group, Restore and Love Yourself with Beth. You can type into the search bar, click on the little magnifying glass, and you can search for ideal scene. Within an ideal scene, if you are familiar with them or if you've never made one, there's some videos on how to make an ideal scene, and it's making a visual of your intentions, how you're operating in the world, and it can really help to put some feelings and emotions into those. So this is a great application for you to utilize. And you can also use ideal scene as a journal exercise, right? You can wake up in the morning and click on the ideal scene and create that for yourself. You know, there's no rules for what you can or cannot do for journaling. This is all just options for you, and there are infinite ways that you could journal. You could wake up and, you know, create an art project for yourself, and that's what this ideal scene is intended to do for you. So take advantage of being in this group for these 7 days and check that one out too. It's really enjoyable. So perhaps you're not feeling all these positive emotions today. Maybe you're feeling some negative emotions, and what these emotions are associated with are needs that you have that are not being met. So this journal exercise is great for identifying what need do you have that is not being served, you're not fulfilling for yourself, or it's not being met by your loved ones, your people you have relationships with. So here's some great ones, and you see the list is much longer because it's really helpful. Again, even on the positive side, it's really helpful to put very specific terminology to your negative emotions as well, so that you can then identify what your need is. So maybe you're feeling afraid, and within the afraid bracket, maybe it's more than just like I'm fearful. It's like I'm apprehensive. I'm concerned for the future. I'm frightened. I'm mistrustful. I'm afraid of other people's possible actions. I'm panicked. I'm worried about something happening within a certain amount of time. I'm scared, terrified. Very powerful word. I'm just worried. You know, I'm concerned about something. And what comes to me now is that all of these negative emotions also signal that you are not actually existing in the present moment, right? Apprehension is about the future. Fearful, is there any actual present danger with you at the current moment, right? So fears are typically, you know, the acronym for fear is false emotions appearing real. So these are not necessarily real. So you can do Byron Katie's work, like, I'm really frightened. Well, look around you. Is it true that you're frightened? What are you frightened of, right? So these are emotions can very often linger in the past or also project us into the future. So it can help to identify them, to bring us back to the present moment. Okay, I'm panicked. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, something, you know, I have to get this thing before this other thing happens. Die, right? Is like a murderer coming to your house in a certain amount of time. So it's not to say you should not feel this way. It's just to help you in identifying the frame of reference for the timing, right? So you can not only identify what am I feeling and where is that stemming from? Is it present? Is it, and then you can check in with your physical body. Is it actually in my body? And if it is present right now, where is it? You know, all of these tools kind of lend and bleed into one another. Maybe you're feeling annoyed, aggravated, bothered, displeased, frustrated. There's a whole range of emotions around anger, contempt, enraged, furious, livid, outraged, resentful. Confusion can come in as ambivalence or just being kind of like knocked off your foundation, bewildered, conflicted, lost, puzzled, torn. Anxiety is a huge emotion that's very prevalent in our society. And anxiety can also sometimes not be enough to describe it. Maybe you're just agitated or alarmed or anxious or just concerned about something. So these also kind of touch on the different levels of emotion, right? Are you just a little bit anxious, or do you have extreme anxiety, or are you like heavily disturbed, completely unsettled, you're restless, you can't sit still? Maybe you're feeling embarrassed. Again, this is something that embarrassment tends to focus on the past, a past action that you've made. So you could feel ashamed, mortified, really self-conscious about what others are thinking about you. Maybe you just feel really worn out and fatigued, tired, depleted, exhausted, lethargic. Maybe it's just a little bit of sleepiness, right? Like, oh, I just need to rest a little bit. Maybe you feel vulnerable, like you're not afraid or fearful, but you're feeling a little bit tender, fragile, insecure, raw. Maybe you feel aversion, like you don't want to partake in a particular person or an activity. Maybe it brings on disgust or hatred or hostility. Maybe you do feel sad, but when we feel sad, what is it? Is it deep depression? Do we feel dejected or rejected? Do we feel disappointed in ourselves or in others? Discouraged? Maybe we just feel gloomy, like the image of Eeyore comes up, like nothing's really going on. I'm just, you know, woe is me. I'm just feeling down. But maybe they're more intense emotions. Or perhaps we're not connected to our emotions at all. We feel apathetic, like we're having a hard time feeling any emotion. And that's in and of itself an emotion as well. Maybe we're bored. We don't have anything that we want to do, or we can't find the motivation to do the things that typically we know bring us joy. Maybe we feel detached from our surroundings, from our work, from our passions, from our loved ones. Maybe we feel envious of what other people have and we're comparing ourselves. Maybe we feel literally numb, like there are no There are no sensations, and it's starting to be this blurry line. So anything again that resonated with you, just jot it down. Now we're going to come into needs. So our human needs are what our emotions come from. It's like the space that we are feeling from. And when we can identify which specific emotions we are feeling, then we can identify which needs are causing us to feel that way because they're not being met. And then we can help ourselves. This is meant as an empowerment tool, not that you need to change anyone else and what they do to you. All of your emotions come from within you, and you can meet your own needs. It may require you to express your needs or boundaries to people that you are in relationship with. But first and foremost, it helps to honor ourselves by identifying which needs we have that are unmet. So maybe if you're feeling disconnected, your need that is not being met is connection. So if we go back to disconnection, if we feel disconnected, if we felt any of these feelings, you can use this like a encyclopedia or like a dictionary for your own emotions. Okay, I'm feeling bored. Okay, that comes under the heading disconnected. So then my need for connection is not being met. Okay, so what of these needs do I feel that I could use to bring myself more connection? Acceptance. Okay, how can I accept myself more? Maybe it's affection. I don't feel like I'm showing my love to myself enough. Maybe it's appreciation. I'm not showing appreciation. I'm not grateful for myself, the things that I am and I have. Maybe it's being authentic. Maybe I'm not authentically expressing from a place of integrity, from heart-centered living. Maybe I don't feel like I belong, and I can create my own sense of belonging within myself and also reach out to connect with others to establish more of a group that is like-minded. Maybe I'm just simply lacking care for myself or self-care. So we can feel disconnected from our own selves, right? If there's some space in between, and there's also in this group the 5 ways to love yourself through the 5 love languages. You can go to the media tab and go into albums, and there is a little image of the 5 ways to love yourself through the 5 love languages. And within that, one of them is touch. One of the 5 love languages is touch. And so there are 5 ways in the group that I explain to you how to connect with yourself, with your physical body through self-care practices, self-Reiki. And then also all of the restorative classes that are in this group are really focused on that connection with yourself, because I believe that when we restore ourselves, when we take time is also a love language, spending quality time with yourself, it helps to further enhance this connection with yourself, not only with your mental, emotional, spiritual self, but also your physical body. And there's a lot of ways to, for example, love yourself through touching your hands, your face, your feet. And it also incorporates a lot of self-Reiki work. Reiki is energy work, and I am a certified Reiki level 1 practitioner. So I do self-Reiki. And I also do Reiki on plants and animals. So check those out if you are feeling like you're lacking connection. And again, reference back to the feelings or emotions that come from disconnection. So all of these things are our need for connection. Maybe we need to communicate more. Maybe we have a need for community, companionship, someone to be considerate, to listen to us. This is also something that I offer in my private self-love yoga sessions or my custom self-love practice. You can hire me to listen to you. This is a huge part of what my job is compassionate listening. So not that you have to pay someone to listen to you, but this is why there are these careers, these jobs in the world. I highly recommend everyone, no matter what they've experienced in their life, hire a therapist at some point in their life to go through, someone who can listen to you and help you digest your past, what has happened to you, and how that influenced who you have become as a person and how you relate with the world. Where therapists deal with past trauma, a coach, as I am in training to be, deals with the future. So as a coach, I will acknowledge how you are feeling, and I will listen to where your current awareness of what your past, how your past has affected that. And I will also direct you more towards a future for yourself as opposed to continuously looking back at the past. So that's the kind of the main difference between a coach and a therapist. But I highly recommend both for everyone. Every human being, I feel, deserves and would benefit from therapy and coaching. And whether either of those are in a group setting, that is one of the intentions behind this group, Restore and Love Yourself. That within groups, we also gain so much more insight because it helps us to connect to this human experience, right? You are never alone. I always encourage people to also share within this group. So please feel free also to share within these 7 days. You are a part of this group. And by sharing, you not only express yourself, you practice self-expression authentically, but you also, it's highly likely that you will touch upon something that someone who doesn't necessarily have the courage or the gumption yet to speak their truth. So many times what we say resonates with people, and it just brings about this deeper sense of community that I feel that way too, you know, like, and we are all spiritual beings having a human experience. We are sharing this universe, our experience of being a human in a physical body here on this earth. And it's just really beautiful to be able to share. If that is something that you feel confident enough to do, you will most definitely help someone else by expressing that. And this also ties into a human need for a shared worldview. I don't know where that comes in on these unmet needs, but I think it might be connection as well. Shared reality, yeah, shared reality or shared worldview is a very important one, particularly in these times where we have very divisive issues like COVID, and how are you navigating within your immediate world and with the larger opinions and politics and medical advice around it. So someone to share the way that you view these topics is very important. And you there are resources. You can find people that share your opinions, and it's very important to in order to fully love yourself, to be able to share that, to be able to have other people who also share your same opinions and views, to be known, to be seen, to be heard, right? To acknowledge one another. So there's some more human needs here, a need for peace. I think that's really powerful, that we need peace. It's not just something that we should strive for or something that's an unattainable goal. It's not necessarily something that you need to have 24/7, but that it is a need, right? I need to know how to create peace within myself. I need to be able to create peaceful environment, a peaceful sensation within my body, within my mind, within my emotional space. So really allow yourself to 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 need that. It is a need, you know, to acknowledge I need peace. It can really help you to justify or validate things that you're feeling that someone else or even yourself may be not feeling that is valid, right? You don't need peace. Yes, I do. The relationship foundation says so. And within peace comes acceptance, particularly of yourself, balance in your life. You know, that can be, it's often spoken of work-life balance. There's so many other aspects of our existence, right? Do we have balance within our thoughts, within our emotions, within our physical body? You know, have I done a lot of exercise and today I need to just sit? You know, I just need to be a potato for, there's no time limit on what you need and what is required for you to find your own balance. And it's coming up more and more lately. It's so easy to lose sight of when we're not feeling at peace, when we're not in balance, in harmony with ourselves, because we get into routines and cycles of, you know, I go to work, I do this, and then I have these demands on me from my loved ones, from myself. And it's very easy to get separated from what you actually need in terms of, in the shadow of what you have to do, right? We often say like, well, I have to do that, or I can't, you know, I can't just not go to work today. But if you check in with yourself, what do I need in this moment? Do you need to go to work right now? And you can also use Byron Katie's work for this. I really like to do this. Challenge yourself to think, you know, I am allowed to have my needs met. And if today I am feeling like I need to sit, I need to lie down, I need to just be with myself, recognize that there is no time limit for that. And the pressures on us from the external world can tend to spiral us into, no, I just need to push that outside of my mind, right? I can't sit, I can't, I have to go to work, I have to do this task, I have to be present, I committed myself. There's nothing wrong with breaking commitments. They are not promises for the rest of your life, right? Even marriages can be broken, partnerships can be broken, and you are allowed. So it's a really good thing to think about when you are identifying things that you feel like you have to do versus what you actually need. And hopefully this exercise can help you to further identify what you're actually needing in each day so that you can honor yourself by doing what you actually need. And the more you practice this, the more you will be able to identify the needs that you have from the emotions that you feel and begin to trust them. Also, that the physical expression of writing them down. Now you have a record, right? Can I trust that I feel this? Well, guess what? I have a record of 365 days where I wrote that down. So yes, I felt that. It's in here. It's proven, right? Use this as your justification, right? If you feel that you need to trust yourself a bit more. So just going through these last few, play. Do you have a need to just be a kid again, right? Just like go on an adventure, do something exciting, have some freaking fun, man. You know, like it can be so easy as adults to lose track of, did I even laugh today? I used to work in a daycare center and a vegan daycare center in Colorado. And the idea came to us like, we don't necessarily have laughing times. You know, we don't always laugh. So let's do like, just start a laughter chain. I don't know if you guys have ever done a laughing snake. So if you're ever in a group of people, you lie down on each other's stomachs. And then just one person starts laughing and then their belly moves and then it moves your head and then you're hearing people laugh and you laugh and it just starts this like crazy raucous chain of laughter. And so like, you know, these are things that we did as kids. We just played with each other, you know, we tickle each other. We like roll around on the floor and move our body in weird ways. You know, maybe this kind of blends into the physical well-being that's next. Like maybe we need to just move in whatever way, you know, and that's has exponential benefits for us. You know, it's not only like creating fluids in our body, but it's like embodying the sensations of joy. You know, we need to dance. Did I dance today? My friend was saying the other night at our cacao ceremony, like, I haven't been dancing. And it's kind of unfortunate as adults that we might need to plan these things. I need to plan to go dancing, but you can ecstatically just dance in your room, dance for 1 minute. Who cares, you know? We forget these things, or if we're in an office, or if we're in meetings all day. In the 1 minute in between your meeting, you know, schedule in some time to just dance around, put on a song that you like, or dance to nothing and just move, you know? You might need it. Justify it to yourself. Yeah, please.
Something that came up for me, I'm a person that not only really enjoys laughing, but also sometimes when, if you catch me off guard or I get nervous, I also laugh. Like it's like an automatic response for me. And I think it's kind of sad that we're in a society where they're constantly being taught or trained that laughing is considered unprofessional. Like a lot of people will say, when you're in a meeting and you're talking to your boss, don't laugh before you give a response because it can come across like you're not serious or you don't know what you're talking about or whatever. And I think that's so silly. They're literally training you to do the opposite thing of what makes you feel good. And I've personally experienced people that tend to not take me seriously because I laugh often, or they'll look at me and they'll ask me, are you faking it? Or is it real? And I'm like, that's such a silly question. Like, obviously my laugh is real. Like people don't just laugh when something is funny. You can laugh when you feel good. You can laugh when you feel nervous. Laughing is just laughing. And I don't know why people have to put all of these tags on it of, in this space, you cannot laugh. Like, I think it's so silly.
Yeah, I agree. Makes me think of like the Mad Hatter, you know? Everyone thinks he's crazy because he's just laughing at everything, but life is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about it, it's like, why not laugh at it? This this reality is only real because we believe it is.
Yeah.
It's so silly, you know? I had a mentor of sorts who really helped me last 2 years ago now when I was living in Colorado, and he just said, you know, I called him when I had like a lot of depressive thoughts and I was just feeling awful, and he was like, oh, this is great, okay, you feel like you're worthless, yeah, what else, so, you know, like you're also ugly, you're terribly ugly, you know, and you always do everything wrong, and like you like mess up, even like sleeping, you mess up sleeping, like what else, like come on, give me some more stuff. And I was just like, this is really funny, actually. And he's like, yeah, it is. Like, why don't we turn this, like, I'm so down, I'm so depressed. It's just ridiculous. Let's make it the most ridiculous it could possibly be. Like, I will never be able to brush my teeth again because I'm completely incompetent. It's like, yeah, go on. What else? What else can you never do and you always fail at, right? Like you can't even do the simplest things. And it really brought me out of it. You know, it's like, yeah, the things that we can feel and think sometimes, while valid that we feel them, often are freaking ridiculous. You know, it's preposterous that we think these things about ourselves. So why not
Yeah.
just like dive into the ridiculousness of it and like laugh
Yeah.
about it? It's silly. You know, I'm being really silly today. I'm being really derogatory toward myself. That's silly. Why would I want that? Like my friend Tammy was saying the other day, I must really love lack or else I wouldn't be living in lack so much, you know? I must really love hating myself or I wouldn't be doing it so much. What else do I really love doing? You know, it's like so silly. Thanks so much for sharing, Alicia. So we also have the need for meaning. This is a really big one. You know, this is where kind of what we were talking about with the physical, how just let yourself feel your feelings when we're in this Cancer moon. But now we've actually shifted into Leo moon today. And so Leo is like this proud, strong energy, but it's also very heart-centered. Leo energy relates to the organ of the heart. And so once we have identified what the feelings and emotions that are present in our body, it can be, we really need to have meaning, you know, to be able to connect things to what does this mean in terms of how I feel about my life, my purpose, my mission. Do I feel clear, conscious, like I'm contributing? How am I presenting my ideas and my passions in a creative way? What new things am I discovering? Am I being efficient with my purpose and the meaning of my life? Am I effective? Maybe I want to grow more, and that can relate to every area of our lives. How am I integrating all of these lessons that I'm learning from all the different aspects of my being? Maybe I'm in mourning. Maybe I'm mourning the loss or death of things within me, not just people. And what does that mean to me? Maybe I'm needing more to participate in my life. Maybe that's the meaning that's present there. So this meaning one is really impactful because it's kind of the integration piece. It is what we refer to as, I believe it's Vayan in yoga. It's the integration of all the different elements of your being coming together and being present. So how are we finding that meaning for ourselves and understanding ourselves better, right? Smarana, self-awareness. How are we aware of ourselves and how does it lead to what we are understanding about ourselves? And then autonomy, it's a big one, right? Freedom, that we have choices always, that we feel like we are independent, we can do things for ourselves on our own, that we are fully expressed, we are able to express ourselves independent of anyone else's needs or desires or opinions of us. We need space. We need space to live, to grow, to be, to exist on our own. And also we need spontaneity. You know, sometimes you just need to like feel a feeling and act on it and just go and do. Bless you. And if we feel restricted, That's an unmet need for autonomy and freedom. So, hopefully this tool can help you connect with your emotions and then inform you of what needs you have that are unmet, and then they can help you cycle back to ways in which you know and trust that can help you to fulfill your own needs by loving yourself through all of the tools that you have, all of the resources. And hopefully this group can help you learn new ways to meet your own needs. So if anything that you care to share further today. Yeah.
I made a little realization, and I've realized that with change and growth also comes grieving, but like a healthy type of grieving. Even though you're shedding things that doesn't serve you, it's still losing a part of you. And it's also okay to grieve that. It's okay to grieve the things that you know you don't want anymore, because it still goes away and it leaves an empty space that you need to refill. And that can be a very uncomfortable process, I think. But also in the process, and also very much thank you to you and all your guidance, I've learned that I am slowly but surely becoming all of the things that I need. I don't need to always get it from other people. I can be that for me too. Like if I take myself outside of myself and I look at me from a different point of view, like I can be that person for me. So yeah, thank you.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're welcome.
An incredible realization.
Very satisfying for sure.
That mourning is a need, right?
Yeah.
And that you are your own source of love. You're independent. Independently expressing yourself and gaining your own, more of your own connection to yourself and awareness. Yeah. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. All right. Do you feel that this is a good place to end our session today? All right. Let's close with, let's do 3 ohms.
Yes.
So inhale to prepare and then exhale to let it all out. And then inhale for Om. The divine in me honors and sees the divine in you. Thank you so much for being here. Have a beautiful day. See you tomorrow for day 5. Congratulations. Day 4 done. Check. See you soon, beautifuls.
Have a good day.
Thank you.